Time now for a bumper edition of The Clash. Now, as recent reports reveal that a Nigerian man who's had 3 kids by 3 different British women is facing deportation after trying to scam our asylum system by claiming to be gay, tonight's fiery clash features a gay rights activist who came out live on African TV and apparently had to flee his country to safety here, and outspoken and anti-woke GBNews presenter Darren Grimes. Well, joining me now is gay rights activist Bisi Alimi and GBNews presenter Darren Grimes. Both of you, thank you very, very much. Bisi, I'll start with you, if that's all right. Is it fair to suggest that some people are essentially conning our authorities by pretending to be gay in order to get asylum? Oh, I think you might just need to turn your... Sorry, Bisi, I'll stop you there. Just need to turn your microphone on, I think. Well, I'll go to you, Darren, then. Look, do you think we're being taken for a ride here?
Oh, absolutely, undoubtedly. I mean, especially, you know, this man clearly came to take advantage of the British gravy train, and he's not alone, right? Masterminding a scam, duping 272 victims. It strikes me that actually if someone can lie to that extent, it's not beyond the wit of man to assume that actually they could lie in convincing some civil servant that they're gay and oppressed for a one-way ticket to bed and board in Britain. It's just yet another addition to the unending soap opera, Patrick, that is our asylum system. I mean, the bloke had 3 smartphones in his bin in his child's school bag, and the court was told that his gay partner, who helped arrange his escape from Nigeria, was later killed. And you just think this is all sounding far too convenient unless you have literally the worst life imaginable.
OK, Bisi, yeah, same question. And look, it does look like some people are just trying to con us by pretending to be gay, no?
Well, I think when you look at the percentage of people who claim asylum falsely, they are so minimal that it has no absolute effect on the system. It doesn't make it right. I know what I went through to claim asylum in the UK. I know what a lot of my friends went through to claim asylum in the UK. Many people who are genuinely asylum seekers are being locked up in detention centres across the United Kingdom, and that is the issue that we should be talking about. And yes, there are people that are scamming the system, and I think we need to take measures to make sure that we give asylum to the people that deserve it. And that includes the Home Office working with asylum seekers or refugees who already have their system, who understand the asylum system in the UK, but who comes from countries that have serious anti-gay law, and be able to support the Home Office to fish out the people who are trying to rip the system up. We can't stop it, but we can minimize it.
Darren, just, you know, your views on whether or not, just because it's only such a small number of people doing it, that actually it's not the end of the world.
Well, I mean, if literally everyone, Patrick, who declares that they're LGBT can come here and do that. I mean, it was 7% in 2017. That was climbing to 10% of all applicants, right? And here's the thing as well that people have got to understand. The Centre for Policy Studies, it's a Westminster-based think tank, they actually say that the asylum system itself is so antiquated that the 1951 Refugee Convention now means that 780 million people would be actually able to come forward and say that they ought to be recipients of Britain's asylum system. So the gap between intention and outcome is growing wider than the Grand Canyon, Patrick. And that's where ultimately I think Britain needs to get real and accept that it can't be the end destination for everybody that wants to come here, especially given that, you know, we're talking about France, right, where a lot of people, illegal migrants, are coming from. This is the land of baguettes, fine wines and human rights. It's not some land of anti-LGBTQ, whatever the alphabet soup is these days, right? This is all marinated in a brine of liberal guilt. And the British people, I'm sorry to say, we've got enough problems. We can't be taking on all of the world's.
OK, Bisi, I'll ask you, if you don't mind, what was your process like? I mean, to be fair, I imagine it was quite easy to prove that what you were saying was true, because my understanding is that you'd been on television, you had, like, literal evidence, right, of what was happening to you. So if you could explain a bit about what happened there for us, please, and what that process was like, and maybe just try to alleviate some concerns that people might have, which is, if I just turned up from another country and claimed to be gay, and being gay in that country was frowned upon, despite the fact that I'm a straight man, I could just get away with it. So you want to talk us through that process, please?
First of all, I want to say this, that the scaremongering that is going on here, but from Darren, is appalling. But again, it's Darren. I am not shocked. I'm not expecting anything profound to come out of the mouth of Darren. But let me be very specific. The process is not as easy as you would think. Now, I have to prove to the Home Office, I have to state what has happened to me. I have to prove to the Home Office that indeed my life is in danger. And my life is in danger because of my sexual orientation and gender identity. And also, I need to get letters from credible individuals who happen to know me to be gay from the country that I'm coming from. Now, it does not mean that people cannot fabricate these letters, right? There are people that are playing the system. And I think for me, it's even more painful for me, for somebody like me, who almost lost my life because of my sexual orientation, to sit back in the United Kingdom and see Nigerians playing the system who possibly are even homophobic in Nigeria in the first place, but saw the opportunity for them to come to the United Kingdom and claim asylum. But the process is not as easy as it should be. And I think the Home Office should be working with people like me and so many others that understand what it means from our country, to support them to be able to fish these people out.
Look, I'll give the final word to Darren, but before that, Bitsy, can I ask you, how do you feel about the fact that so many people who are coming here across the channel at the moment are coming from countries where it is illegal and punishable by death to be gay? Should we be saying to people who come from some of those countries who are not gay themselves, is that a massive red flag for you, Bitsy? Does that make you feel a bit less safe?
No, it is not a red flag for me. Because I am gay does not mean I should deny another human being the opportunity and the dignity of your humanity. You look at what is happening around the world, whether it's war, whether it's climate crisis, all of these things are driving people, whether it's economic crisis, these things are driving people away from their homes. And the fact that we think the 1951 Convention is some liberal cocktail that is pop up in champagne, in Chardonnay or whatever, it's absolute crap. These are human beings whose lives are in extreme danger, and the British value says we should give these people
Darren, very quickly, final word to you on that, go on.
Yeah, I mean, talking about British values there, right? What we should be saying to people is, if you don't share our values, then sling your hook, because this country has been changed beyond all recognition, Patrick. We've seen people on the streets calling for jihad, for intifada, and actually I think the argument there says that if Britain turns into Nigeria, then that would be perfectly fine. Well, no, it wouldn't. We are British and we actually want to remain tolerant and accepting, and I'm afraid the argument there was one that says that we would be transformed even further beyond all recognition, and I don't want that, and I imagine most of your viewers don't either, Patrick.
Look, both of you, thank you very, very much. I mean, fascinating, because we could have carried that on for another hour. Actually, maybe we should.